There's no denying that the new iPhone 12 series is cool. It's fast and it's got a great set of cameras. It shoots crazy HDR video and every model has an OLED display. Reviewers are really enjoying it whether you love Apple or you don't. But take away the squared off edges and what do you really have? An iPhone 11s. Let's talk about that. Let me take you back 10 years to the launch of the iPhone 4. How many of you had one or knew someone who had one? Probably the majority. It was a turning point in Apple's iPhone design language and was one of the last phones that had Steve Jobs oversee its production. It was the first iPhone with a Retina display and was the first iPhone to have a glass sandwich layout. For a lot of us, it was our first proper smartphone. This video footage is probably awakening a feeling of nostalgia within you, and that's exactly what's happening with the iPhone 12. This is what Apple wants. People are seeing the iPhone 12 and its squared off edges and are instantly being brought back to the good old days when smartphones were first being developed and innovated on, back when life was fun, back before the pandemic. Marketers can use this incredibly powerful feeling of nostalgia to sell things. In this case, the iPhone 12. You only have to look at the console remakes, media remasters, and this iPhone 12 series to see that. Another perfect example of this, MagSafe. When it was removed on the transition to Thunderbolt 3 MacBooks, a lot of us were outraged that they got rid of one of the most convenient technologies that had ever existed. USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 are great, they really are, but MagSafe was unique and incredibly handy to use, and a lot of us experienced it. As for the new MagSafe, already got wireless charging on the iPhone, let's just add magnets, charge extra for the charger that doesn't come in the box, and stick a nostalgic name on it. Ka-ching. And what a tactic this is, because it allows Apple to focus its efforts on the next big thing. As I said, if you take away the squared off edges, you kind of get an iPhone 11s, which, let's be honest, is the same basic design as the 11, the 10s and the 10. In fact, the rounded body and rear camera layout is the same as the 8, the 7 and the 6 series. By the way, the iPhone 10 is already 3 years old and that's terrifying. Apple has just given itself extra time to come up with and implement new features into the next iPhone or two by refreshing the same design but with squared off edges, and the tech scene has kind of just gone mad for it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this for another 2 or 3 iterations. Ever since the iPhone 10 was first being rumoured, there have been online renders and, quote, leaks of a new iPhone with squared off edges and cut down bezels, harking back to the iPhone 4 and 5 with their legendary industrial designs. It's clear that people have wanted this for years and Apple hasn't ignored it. It just saved that trick until it had squeezed the most out of its rounded edges design. And introducing the Mini, guess who's going to lap that up? People who love the iPhone 5, 5S and original iPhone SE, because it's closer to the size of those than the larger iPhones of late. I know many people personally who haven't upgraded from their iPhone SE because they like that form factor so much. Shave off some of the price and cut down the size, and it's the perfect upgrade for those people, or at least they'll see it like that. It helps even more that phones of this size with flagship components barely exist. This allows Apple to eat up a piece of the market that other companies have kind of just handed them on a plate. Compact flagship phones are few and far between, and no, I don't mean 6-inch display small, I mean actually small. Samsung tried it a couple of years ago and for some reason dropped it just a year later. As for Sony, don't even get me started on Sony. I'm not saying that the iPhone 12 is a bad series of smartphones, and I'm also not taking away from the awesome new features. Although saying that, I'm definitely not calling these the best phones on the market. I don't think they are. I'm platform agnostic, I don't care whether you use an Android phone or an iPhone, it doesn't matter to me. What I am saying though is that the Apple marketing and strategy teams are geniuses, and it just managed to catch the whole industry and its consumers off guard. The company has simultaneously bought itself time, made itself more money, and will now more than ever get people to upgrade and convert without forcing them to, by making their other phones obsolete. How do you get someone to do something? Make them think it was their idea in the first place. The iPhone 12 series is an example of simply incredible marketing, and the new iPhone with flat size was stunningly inevitable. I'm impressed. Good job, Apple.